Vashtorr the Archivane, master of the Forge of Souls and demigod of technology, is the newest warp entity causing problems all over the galaxy. Following his alliance with Abaddon the Despoiler and the creation of Wormwood, Vashtorr has appeared in and out of real space across the Imperium. And when the demigod of machines appears, manufactorums, mines, and forges all burst into chaos. Tech heresy and mechanical mutation run rampant as machinery, both human and Xenos, turn upon their creators and operators, transformed into unholy fusions of metal and demon flesh. The following is a dossier of audio logs, communications, and reports collected by Lord Inquisitor Kotias during his extensive hunt for the Archivane. Lord Inquisitor, the genesis of Wormwood continues to send sickening portents of doom rippling through the Imperium. The ability of our prognosticators to discern the trajectory of Vashtorr's creation has been tested greatly, for its subdimensional passage leaves no trace within the warp. There are whispers, however, of rippling gravitational disturbances within the Nephilim subsector that match the readings taken in the wake of Wormwood's previous emergencies. If, indeed, the demon world has surfaced within the Pariah Nexus, Vashtorr's presence there may serve to disrupt the Necron's efforts. Perhaps this provides us with an opportunity to disturb the Archivane's works. I have dispatched a small task force to join the remnants of Battle Group Calades. Grand Master Vorth Mordrak. Subject Alpha, Overseer Cultus. Planet Prex, Cygnus. Our line produced threshing servitors for agri-worlds. At first, the imperfections were barely noticeable. Blades jutting out at odd angles, slight abnormalities within the engine cores. However, the machine spirits appeared, if anything, more focused and cooperative than one would ordinarily expect. And so we ignored these deviations. The problem soon mounted, however. Discordant emissions of static from supposedly dormant Vox arrays. Engines growling to life with no application of the rites of awakening. Then, the death started. Servo cranes malfunctioned, dropping cargo consignments onto unsuspecting loaders. Thresher units glitched, their servo arms pulling laborers into churning blades. Mounted lumens moved unaided, casting their light on those passing by. Plasma conduits hissed as they never had before. Whispers at the very edge of hearing. And despite the blazing heat of the forge, an unsettling, unshakable chill. Through it all, susurrations emanate from gas vents and exhaust pipes. Their words never quite audible. I tried to ignore it all at first, concerned that the priesthood would treat my suspicions with scorn or, worse still, burn me as a heretic. Yet as I looked into the eyes of the others, I saw they shared my fears. An unspoken terror rippled through the populace. We took to praying twice as often, begging the God Emperor for guidance. Some of my laborers refused to take their shifts, preferring to submit themselves to punishment rather than walk amongst awakened machines. All knew something was terribly wrong, but none dared voice their concerns until it was far too late. Subject Beta, Foreman Khan, Kaisis Prex, Fabrication Bureau. Despite their best efforts, the tech priests could find nothing wrong. A dozen or more times they undertook the rites of reactivation, yet every time the glitches returned. Soon, the very workings of the Forge Factorums began to chime a dissonant anvil chorus that caused a terrible throbbing ache in the recesses of the mind. This was only the first sign of things to come. Panic followed. Work crews lost their wits. The comms network was awash with screaming storms of scrap code. The Factorum itself seemed to come to life around us. Forge furnaces rose on stilt-like limbs to hurl fire at their operators. Quenching vats, bubbling with crimson gore, spilt their contents, drowning dozens in gallons of fluid. Through it all, the servitors chanted, their maddening chorus always ending with the same refrain. All hail the infernal architects. Subject Gamma, Trooper Aaron Brunn, Kaiser's Prex, Defense Militia. I don't remember much. I tried to blank it from my mind. It was a charnel pit. Throne knows I've seen combat, but this was different. The entire complex seemed to come alive around us. Industrial servitors ambushed us from the darkness, lunging out of loading bays and docking platforms, eyes wide, with a wild fury that they shouldn't have been capable of feeling. First squad was pulped by augmented power tools before they could raise a weapon in response. Blood, screams, death. It was all chaos. We returned fire as best we could, but our autoguns barely made a dent. If Major Ernst hadn't called up the heavy weapon squads, we would have been cut down in seconds. Their eyes as they came for us. Emperor. They were alive. I swear it. Alive and conscious. And their screams. Oh, by the throne, their screams. I can hear them still. All pain, misery, and rattling gears. Sector Bravo. Subject, Hothkin Cognitor. I didn't trust the squat folk from the start. How the governor approved of their contract is beyond me. The worst of them were the metal ones. Nothing more than machines and armor with not a shred of the organic about them. It sent a shiver down my spine to see them move and talk just like they were alive. The kin, as the squats call themselves, were tasked with holding our left flank. What happened after that, Throne only knows. Some say their steel brothers turned on them, sprouting mutant swords and coiling tentacles. I'd never seen squats spooked before, but the betrayal shook them to their core. Intercepted Vox broadcast captured in the vicinity of Havos, Ultima Segmentum. Translated and transcribed by Sisters of the Order Dialogus. 2 strike teams lost to technical malfunction. Shas Oluva killed in action. Fire teams nearby at the time of event report Shas Oluva's battlesuit malfunctioning and extruding wires and cablings, turning its guns upon allied forces and ripping itself apart. Lieutenant Jones fired upon her vanguard, wiping out a dozen fire warriors before being brought down. Vio Lacael's analysis of the wreckage found no obvious cause beyond a few unexplained data spikes within Shas Oluva's comm units. He suspects some form of guerrilla sabotage. A worrying development, if true.